Hello and welcome to our special program, To The Point. Today we have with us Union Minister for Minority Affairs, Mr. K Rahman Khan. Sir, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let me first straight away come to the workings of your ministry. It is not a very old ministry as far as if you look at the time period since it has been set up. It was set up in 2006. It's been 7 years. Please take us through the major responsibilities as far as Minority Affairs Ministry is concerned.
As you rightly said that this ministry is one of the youngest ministry. It is just only 7 years to be precise. This ministry was set up to strengthen the multicultural and multi-religious ethos of our nation, to strengthen that, because our strength is unity and diversity. So diverse culture, diverse system has to be protected, preserved, and that is our strength and unity. So to strengthen them, this ministry was set up to achieve that objective. That is the mission of the ministry. Now the task entrusted to the ministry is, see, the religious minorities. There are 5 religious minorities which have been identified. The Muslims, the Sikh, the Christians, the Bodh and the Parsis. And these religious minorities, to strengthen the socio-economic and educational conditions, and several affirmative actions have been taken. If there is any, they are lagging behind in social conditions, economic conditions, and in educational conditions. And several affirmative actions have been taken by this ministry, including of setting up of a Sachar Committee for assessing the socio-economic and education conditions of the Muslims in the country.
You spoke about Sachar Committee and you said that the task given to the ministry is to go ahead and ensure that the socio-economic indicators of the minorities are brought to at par and at that level with the other segments of the society. But the task is not that easy, because if you look at the facts and figures, and I was going through the recommendations of the Sachar Committee itself. Take, for example, the Muslims, the minority segment in this country. The socio-economic indicators, none of them, in fact, show positive results
that,
for.
The Sachar Committee report came in the year 2007, and we started analyzing the Sachar Committee, and we have identified about 72 recommendations which are implementable, which can be their recommendation, and that out of that we have accepted 69 recommendations, and we are yet to implement 3 recommendations. 66 recommendations we are implementing actually. And these recommendations we are implementing in different under various schemes. Some recommendations we are directly implementing as far as education and area development of the minorities are concerned. Some recommendations which already social sector ministries in the government of India which are taking place, like Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, like ICDS program of the woman child, and then the urban development. All these segments are social segments, they are doing it. And we have ensured through, for the implemented Sachar Committee, a equitable share should go out of the social sector ministries also to the minorities. So about 15% of this expenditure and physical and financial should be reaching to the minority. This is another steps we have taken. There are 11 ministries who are involved in giving this benefit under the Prime Minister 15-point program.
How will this this 15% of the fund which will be coming in from the social sector ministries you pointed out, and this has just been in this year's budget only this was announced, but how will this work? Is the fund going to come to your ministry? You're going to implement it?
No. The implementing authority is the respective ministries, but they are mandated to set apart minimum of 15%. Depending upon the population of the states, the minority population, but minimum of 50% should be set apart for minorities. Say, for example, Indira Awas Yojana. If the government of India has taken up a plan in the year to construct about say 4 lakh houses, Indira Awas Yojana under that, so it is mandatory that 60,000 houses should be earmarked for the minorities in the country. So similarly, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, if they are opening about 6,000 or 8,000 schools, 15% of it should be in the minority areas and for the benefit of the minority. The such allocation, financial and this physical earmarking has been done, and our ministry has been entrusted the responsibility whether these things are implemented properly. So implementation portion is looked after by our ministry, and we are reviewing it, and we are wherever there is deficiency we are trying to do it. But I agree with you that there is a problem in implementation, there is a problem in monitoring. We are strengthening. That is why there is an impression that these programs of the government are not reaching the targeted group, the minorities, which we are strengthening it.
Yeah, because these are the core areas. You spoke about education. You spoke about scholarship being given. These areas are the core areas. Even if you look at several reports, including the Sachar Committee Report, which I was talking about, but it talks about the social indicators, and these social indicators are in these areas itself.
You see, it is we have started taking these steps in the 11th plan. And the 11th plan was the beginning, and we set apart about 8,000 crores in the 11th plan for basically for education, and now that in the 12th plan we have set up the planned allocation for the education and the area development, MSDP and the scholarship is about 17,000 crores. This allocation itself is not very big when compared to the size of the population of the minority. There is about 20% of the total population constitute these 5 minorities, and about out of this about 150 million people are to be Muslims, who are socially and economically very far behind, even according to Sachar, far behind SC/ST. So we have to more allocation, and but giving the constraint of the budgetary resources, we are trying to manage the thing. But I am sure that in the future these steps will be stepped up, and more monitoring and more the new schemes have to be launched, and we are at it.
We will talk about budgetary allocation specifically for your own ministry itself. But before that, we will have to take a short break out here. Welcome back. We still have Mr. K Rahman Khan with us, the Minister for Minority Affairs in the UPA government. Sir, we were talking about allocations for specific schemes, specific programs. You said that 15% from 11 social sector ministries will also now mandatorily be dedicated to the welfare of minorities, and your ministry will be the monitoring authority rather. It will be implemented by the ministries. As far as your ministry is concerned, the budgetary allocation is not even a fraction of the total budget allocation, because I'm looking at the figures. In 2012-13, the budgetary estimates for the Ministry of Minority Affairs was 3,154 crore rupees. In 2013-14, the budgetary estimates have risen to 3,530 crore rupees. If you look at the estimates only, a rise of less than 500 crore rupees only.
You see, you are right. This is a planned expenditure. And this expenditure is meant for major 2 schemes of our ministry. One is scholarship program. The other is multi-sectoral development plan. These 2 schemes we are launching. The MSDP plan is the Sachar Committee has recommended, has said that the areas where the minority resides, population is there, they have been neglected in this. They have been not developed properly. The areas don't have proper sanitation, schools, hospitals. So a scheme was launched, what is called multi-sectoral development scheme, in which we had earlier identified 90 minority concentrated districts, and were implementing this multi-sectoral development where we used to give schools, colleges, ITIs, and then Anganwadi centers, Indra Awas Yojana, whatever is not available in that area. Now we have converted this because district was a big area, it was not reaching to them. Now we have shifted to block areas, smaller areas, and now we have identified 710 blocks in the country where 25% and above blocks are concentrated with the minorities with poverty parameters, and about 66 towns and cities are also included. So now our reach is wider, and the area, this is one scheme. The second scheme, scholarship. Scholarship is really a very major flagship program of the ministry, that we are servicing scholarship in 3 stages: pre-metric, post-metric, merit cum means, and also we have fellowship program for higher, for doctorate and other thing. Pre-metric is where we give scholarship right from standard 1 and up to 10th standard. The budget allocation for this is not very sufficient. Because
is that under the Maulana Azad education?
no, it is nothing to do with Maulana Azad. This is a direct ministry. I will come to the Maulana Azad later on. No, here, I personally feel, and I have been taking up with the finance ministry and with the prime minister, that you in this segment of the scholarship, that is the pre-primary, it should be demand driven, because we cannot judge a primary student on his marks. It is the poverty conditions. Now, if you have targets, then you will be leaving out certain boys who are eligible otherwise. Just because you have fixed target, 10 boys will get and 10 boys will not get. It is a clear discrimination. We cannot do that. That is denying opportunity and giving to some without any reason. So I have been urging upon to make this as a demand driven. So then we need more budget for this. Similarly, education is the thrust. So our post-metric merit cum means, this also we have to reach this thing. But we have done considerably. This is a success story. We are servicing more than about 10 million students of the minorities in the country.
That, in fact, 10 million is a big figure. Let me talk about the Muslims in particular, as far as minorities is concerned. And this was mentioned by the Sachar Committee Report itself, something which was accepted by the government. The OBCs, those Muslims who get the benefits of reservation, being the OBCs. But there are a number of Muslims who are not getting the benefits because they're not being considered as OBCs. They do not fall under the OBC category. So they end up being relegated to that particular level itself, and the overall socio-economic indicators again come to the negative level.
You see, in North, particularly in the Mandal, a certain section of Muslims are left out from the OBC classification. And whereas when it comes to state, some states have taken the entire Muslim population as backward. Say, for example, Karnataka, in my own state, the entire Muslim community comes under backward. Even Tamil Nadu and other places, and Kerala. But when it came to Mandal, in North, you are right that a certain section of Muslims, though they are poor, they are thing, on basis of their caste system, that is, they have been not been included in the Mandal. That is, there is a demand for a relook at the thing. The another important question which is agitating the Muslims is, people who are converted to other faith from the scheduled caste, a different parameter is observed. For example, a scheduled caste converts into Sikhism or Buddhism, he continues to get the reservation and the benefit of available to scheduled caste. Whereas if a person changes his faith from Hinduism to Islam or Christianity, they are not getting that benefit. So by just changing of faith, the very fact changing of faith will not change the social conditions in our country. And that benefit has been given to the Sikh community, Sikh religion and Buddha religion. Both are religious minority under the Minority Commission Act. So when certain conversion takes place or change of faith takes place, to certain religion, it is the benefit is continued, and there it is presumed the social conditions does not change. And if the same thing they convert into another religions which are left out, that Islam and Christianity, they say the social condition will change. This is an issue which is agitating, because there cannot be a discrimination on the basis of just changing of faith, but this without taking into consideration whether social condition faces all. The matter is being taken up by some people to the Supreme Court. The matter is before the Supreme Court, and it is for the government to consider this.
Okay. We'll definitely come back and talk to you about the present political situation. It's really warming up in the run-up to the general elections in 2014. But before that, let's take a short break out here. Welcome back. Today, we've been joined by the Union Minister for Minority Affairs, Mr. K Rahman Khan, and he's still with us, sir. A very interesting situation politically is right now emerging. Statements coming in from several political leaders, and the aim seems to be the general elections in 2014, which everyone believes will be keenly fought by all political parties, specifically yours and the main opposition party, BJP. What do you make of the political rhetoric vis-a-vis minorities, which is in the focus since past few weeks, specifically comments coming in from senior leaders of the BJP like Narendra Modi?
You see, the minorities in the country want to strengthen the secularism of this country. Because, as I said in the beginning itself, this country's strength is unity and diversity, which certain parties don't believe in it. So, the Congress is a symbolism of secularism in this country, and it is a party which has fought and preserved secularism in this country and given a secular constitution to this country. So the minorities wants to strengthen the secularism, and they support all those parties who strengthen secularism and oppose all those parties who try to divide the country on the basis of religion.
But do you believe that these statements are just meant to charge up the political atmosphere?
You see, BJP as a political party is surviving on communal divide. It is a known fact. What happened in Ayodhya, what happened in Gujarat and other places, and now they are trying to project Modi, sidelining all the top leaders of their party. What is their purpose? That is, they want to capitalize on polarization and the appeal of Narendra Modi as a face of Hindutva. That is, he himself said, I am a Hindu and I am a Hindu nationalist. And that word itself is to polarize. It is not, and it is unbecoming of a leader, a constitutional authority who has taken oath on the constitution to say, I am an Hindu nationalist, not an Indian nationalist. He didn't say I am not an Indian nationalist, but he should have said that I am an Indian nationalist. That apart. Now, Modi they have brought to polarize. But I believe whatever polarization has to be taken place, hasn't taken place in this country. Further polarization is not possible whether Modi comes or any other person comes to polarize the Indian votes. Because if through polarization, if BJP wanted to come to power, by this time all states would have gone to BJP, because obviously it is Hindu majority and they are opposing 80, nearly 84% of the 78% of the populations are Hindu majority. And if polarization had taken place in this country, a limited polarization has taken place. So now further polarization not possible, and as Congress we are not very much bothered about the polarization. We are going on our strength in 2014 election. Definitely 2014 election will be fought projecting Modi, but the people of country have rejected BJP's polarization politics in 2004, 2009. I am sure in 2014 also the people of this country will reject the polarization politics of BJP.
You also said, and this is being almost accepted, that Narendra Modi will be BJP's prime minister candidate. He's already been given the very important post of the chief election campaigner. Responsible for the way the party will go ahead and fight elections in 2014. Almost the same kind of responsibility has been given to Rahul Gandhi in Congress as well. He's also been elevated to the post of Congress Vice President. So, are we looking at Narendra Modi versus Rahul Gandhi in 2014? Do you believe that?
I see. Rahul Gandhi, our leader, and who is made the Vice President, definitely he is going to lead the elections, and there is no two opinion about it. But Congress party is fighting this election on its own strength of secularism and its achievement in UPA and one UPA 2. And we are proud of our achievement. Whatever the opposition has done about these scams and all that, these are created scams. There is absolutely, if you go, I don't believe that either it is a 2G scam or the Colgate scam or only an imaginary scam. It is not the real scams. So people of this country, and we have done well. We have brought RTI, we have brought RTA, we have brought NREGA, now food security. Which other governments can claim credit for the various pro-people actions which have taken? So as Prime Minister said, one bad year cannot be judged the entire 10 years achievement of the BPA. I am sure we are fighting this election, apart from whoever led anything. It is obvious, but we are fighting the elections on the basis of our achievements, and we are confident that people of this country will bless UPA for the third time.
So it seems it will be a really interesting electoral battle in 2014 to watch out for. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Thank you for being with Rajya Sabha Television. So this was Union Minister for Minority Affairs, Mr. K Rahman Khan, talking about the responsibilities of his ministry as well as the present political situation. We'll come back next week with a different personality on a different issue. Till then, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.